To our broadcast on today. Thank you, Macedonia, for tuning in as always. Thank those who are joining us on Facebook Live and YouTube. We have a very special day for you today in which we have explained unto you in the previous weeks. We know that we have a November 3rd election coming up, and that election is very, very important. In fact, before each Sunday sermon in the month of October, we will have something on there about the importance of voting. I am very encouraged about the energy that we see that's flowing. I read where Mike Tyson said that this will be the first time that he's ever voted. That is exciting because we pray that there are a lot of people with that same mindset that had not voted that said, you know what, I need to vote this year. I was very encouraged this morning. I don't know how the sanctified preachy folk will receive this, but I actually saw a PSA from strippers in Atlanta with a commercial that said, meet us at the polls. It actually had the people that were dancing on the poles in their bikinis. They flashed out. But my mind went to the scriptures because Jesus said in Luke 16:1 and 2, that in some instances the children of darkness are wiser than the children of light. Now, I'm not encouraging stripping, but if you think about it, as I told my wife, they can reach a population that we can't. Stripping is not illegal like gambling. They're of age, and we know that we want black men to vote, and we know that in Atlanta that the strip clubs are like Kellogg in Battle Creek. So they've got an audience. So I'm not encouraging stripping, but if we want everybody to vote, then I don't think that there's nothing wrong with that. So it just encourages me, again, that we need to get that message out to everyone. Once again, I'm not saying you need to strip. I'm not agreeing with that, but I'm saying they are at least doing something to get us to the polls, and that's what I'm excited about. All voting all politics, they say, is local. And I am so glad today we have got 3 awesome individuals with us. Their names will be appearing on the ballot this November 3rd. I will allow them to introduce themselves, and then after they introduce themselves, we will allow them to introduce their platforms, to share with us things that we need to know, we may not know, just to encourage us, because the scripture once again says that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and sometimes what we don't know hinders us. So these individuals will share with us informational things that prayerfully will lead to transformational things that will get us all out to the polls on today. We're going to start with Lynn Gray. I'll allow her to introduce herself, her platform. Then we'll do ladies first. We'll do Jenasia Morris secondly. And then we'll have Derrick Freeman. They'll state who they are first, and we'll come back, and then they'll share their platforms. And you also that are watching can field in your questions. We can take those questions off the online, and then we can ask those questions. We do pray that the questions that you ask will be for information's sake. We will not filter anything that we see as a question to try to put anybody in the hole. This is not what we're here for. We're here to be educated, and we're here to be encouraged, okay? So first, we will have Lynn Gray. She will introduce herself, and then once again, Jenasia Morris, Derrick Freeman, and then we'll go further in our discussion on today about the importance of politics and the importance of us participating in that vote. So at this time, Lynn Gray.
Well, hello everybody, and thank you, Pastor. So good that I could be here today with all of you. My name is Lynn Gray. I serve as your current Ward 2 City Commissioner, and I humbly am running to be the mayor, the first publicly elected mayor, City of Battle Creek. I hope you'll go with me. Go to www.lynnwardgray.com and join with me. Together we can change and grow and make a better Battle Creek. Thank you.
Now we will hear from Jenasia Morris.
Hey everybody, I am Jenasia Morris. I am 21 years old, and I am running to be your City Commissioner of Ward 2. I'm hoping to replace Lynn, and she is part of the reason why I decided to run. I was a member of the Youth Advisory Board for the City of Battle Creek which really got me interested in the city commission and how our city's government works. I plan to bring our community together, help our community be in the loop as far as when things are going on in our community. Ward 2, we don't really know about it. I want to change that. I want to be the bridge between the government and our community. That's what I'm running for.
Thank you, Jenasia. Now we'll hear from our gentleman, my good friend, Derrick Freeman.
Hi, I'm Derrick Freeman. I'm running for at-large position here in the city of Battle Creek. I'm a small business owner. I'm an educator at heart. I have been 6 years a school bus driver, and I'm the voice for the people. I'm claiming that now because our people need voices. We need to be more transparent here in Battle Creek, and that's what I will bring November 3rd.
Thank you all. And now we really want to just give you this opportunity to provide you a platform, again, to share with us things that we may not know. Obviously, we're going to ask questions, but there are some things that we may not need to know. We know that there's a lot of inconsistencies and untruths about when to vote, who can, where, how, and all of that stuff. So we want to clear that up and, again, educate you so that we would have all the correct and right information we need so that there will be no hindrance to us whatsoever on November 3rd. And we're going to start with Lynn Gray, who's obviously running for mayor. We'll give her the opportunity again to share her platform, and then we will obviously hear from Jenasia and Derrick again as well. So once again, at this time, we now yield the floor to Lynn Gray.
Well, hello everybody. As you heard, I am running for mayor, City of Battle Creek. This is really critical because this is the first time the public has been able to elect their mayor. And I was instrumental in really bringing that forward. In March, the citizens overwhelmingly said they wanted to vote for their mayor. And I wanted to make sure that I cleared some things up. There's been some rumors out there that I've not been for the public vote of the mayor, and that could not be further from the truth. The reason that I changed my vote was because I wanted to see a 7-2 designed city commission, 7 ward mayors, 7 wards, 2 at large, allowing for us to be a much more diverse and spread out city commission, more representative of our community. With 5 ward commissioners, that only allows for generally one area of town to have some diverse representation. With 7, you had a greater opportunity to do that, and I was hoping with my no vote to push my fellow commissioners in that direction. When I heard that residents really didn't care about the design at this point, they just wanted to vote for their mayor, I responded. And that's what you do as a leader. You listen and respond. And although the 7-2 design is righteous, they said that's a righteous idea, and I get what you're saying. Hey, we want to elect our mayor, and here we are. So excited to have this opportunity. I am running on a platform of 3 very central ideas that encompass actually quite a bit. First one, economic development in all 4 corners of our city. And what I mean by that is there are some economic development opportunities that are happening in some areas more than others. I want to make sure that all of us have an opportunity to get the resources we need, the mentorship that we need, and really help our Battle Creek thrive. You heard one of my other candidates here. He's a small business owner. Small businesses are the economic engine of any city, and that's no different here in Battle Creek. I have introduced several individuals to where the resources are, where they can get help, and I pride myself on being that connector, keeping people informed about where they can get information and how they can access their city government. Economic development is critical in this time and age of COVID. We know that several of our businesses have suffered. We know that several of our businesses are trying to recover and navigate what they can do in the midst of COVID to stay relevant and to thrive in this economy. And so I want to make sure that I'm continuing to do that. And I'm continuing to really raise the voices of the north side as well, working with the youth village here on the north side, really trying to bring some economic growth and prosperity to Michigan Avenue, beyond Washington Avenue, has always been a platform item of mine. And I'm looking forward to moving that even further ahead as mayor. Also, residents need to be engaged in their city government. And what I mean by that is empowering them through our city commissions, boards, committees. We have nearly 40 of those. And what I'm seeing is that not many people know about them. And a lot of people think they just don't fit into that picture. You know, I'm not a degreed individual, or I didn't go here, or I don't live here. None of that matters when it comes to serving your city through one of those boards, committees, and commissions. So I want to encourage individuals to engage in civic engagement and be present in these meetings, voice their opinion, and I want to help meet you where you are. Not everybody's going to come to a city commission meeting. I have learned that since 2009, since I have served. And so we need to come out to you. We need to be where you are. In the churches, Pastor Troxler knows that I will go to a church and I'll stay for the whole service because I want to get fed just like anybody else. So I want to make sure that we are doing that we're going to where you are and getting your opinion and getting those voices, because frankly, we can't do our job without you. You know, we're better because of you. We're stronger as a community together because of you. If we don't hear your voices, we are not doing our legislation, our resolutions, our ordinances according to what benefits the majority. And your voices are key in that. So engagement is a critical part of my leadership. And lastly, equity in everything we do. We know that there's some implicit biases out there, and we know that there's things that we might have on the books, policies and procedures that need to be addressed, and that we need to make sure that they're not unduly harming one area of our town, one individual in our town, one group in our town, because of how they were written. They might have not set out to do that, but we need to make sure by looking critically at those policies and procedures that we're being equitable in what we do. And yes, we've had a human relations board that's been doing a lot of great work, has put a lot into it, but we need to make sure we're doing more. And in the midst of that, be transparent. Put it up on our website. Put it in our libraries. Put it everywhere that individuals might be so that they can see what we're doing. Transparency is critical in building trust and building relationships with our police department, with our fire department, with our city government. So I can talk more because there's so much more, but I want to make sure we only got an hour. So I'm going to leave it. I'm turning it back over to Pastor Troxler. If you have more questions, please reach out to me.
Thank you, Lynn, and we should have more time to hear from you again. Earlier, Jenasia mentioned that you were one of the reasons for her running. I've known Jenasia for a few years now. Awesome young lady. She has done work, obviously, with the police and some other things. So right now I'm going to yield the floor to Jenasia, and now she can share with us her platform. I'm very excited for her, for Brother Derrick. My generation coming up, I'm 54 years old, and when I was coming up, there may have been one or two, but you didn't see that many young people that were involved in politics. Politics was almost like a dirty word. You don't mix politics with this and that, but I am so grateful to God that we don't have people that's standing on the sidelines. If you really want to change the game, you got to get in. And thank God for her and what she has already done and what she will continue to do. I will yield the platform now to her, and then she will share with us her vision. Lynn mentioned again about those the commission and being engaged, and we again have two people here today that are running for those spots. So I will now at this time yield the floor to Miss Jenasia Morris, and then she can once again tell us something about her platform.
As I mentioned before, I was a member of the Youth Advisory Board, and being on the Youth Advisory Board, I had the opportunity to meet a lot of city commissioners and build relationships with some of those individuals. And in my experiences, getting to know them and meeting those people, I realized that there is not a lot of diverse representation up there on that diag. There aren't any young people up there at all. There was one person of color up there. I want to change that. I want to be the young person that's connecting us to our government, be the person of color who is going out into our environment and letting people know what we talked about there. Because like Lynn said, everybody's not going to go to a city commission meeting, but it's still our right to know what's going on in our city.
Right.
So it's up to us to go out in the community and let people know. So for my platform, I would like to, for one, build relationships with our community. Our community doesn't come together and do events anymore. I know that this year, due to COVID, we didn't do too much for Juneteenth. We did the parade, but as far as coming out together, celebrating together, fellowshipping with one another, we don't do that anymore. I want to change that. I want to build an environment for us to come together and get to know each other, get to know what's going on in our city. And I want to say that I am not a politician. I am just a person that wants to make a change. That's it. And as Pastor Troxler mentioned, I hosted and came up with the idea to have a meeting with the police chief, Jim Blocker, and we discussed how we as a community expect to be treated when we come into contact with police and what they expect from us. I want to do more things like that. I'm actually in the process of planning another meeting right now, and this time I want more community members involved. I went in there with 3 other people around my age. Why didn't we have everybody in there with us? Everybody in the community comes into contact with police. Everybody in the community knows somebody who has faced some sort of issue with the police. So why aren't you stepping up? I want everybody to step up. This is not just a me thing. This is not just a city commission thing. This is a community thing. Yes, I'm trying to be your representation, but I have people on my team too. I have 3 generations of family in Battle Creek. My great-grandmother is 83. She's still alive. I look to her for advice. I look to my grandmother for advice, and I look to my mother for advice. I have my whole family is my community. My community is on my shoulder giving me advice, and I want the whole community to come together like that. That's what I'm running for. I'm running to bring the community together, to change the relationships with law enforcement, and I want to be the difference. I am the young black person who is going to make a change.
Awesome, powerful. Thank you, Jenasia. I am so excited again for these young individuals. My brother Derrick Freeman, good friend of mine. Derrick Freeman, you will be seeing, as I said earlier, on each Sunday morning in October, we will be showing a video or something that has to do with voting. And on this Sunday, on our website and on our Facebook page and YouTube, you will be seeing a video that the pastors did in Battle Creek, and it's entitled, "Are You Angry Enough to Vote?" And Derrick Freeman is the one who put that wonderful piece together. Once again, so you will be seeing that on this Sunday. And we could show the candidates here if they would like to see that before they leave. We could show that. I'm very excited. Once again, we talk a lot about our black men, where are they at? They're in prison. Well, no, not all black men are in prison. We got black young men making a difference, and I thank Derrick for that, not standing on the sidelines, but says, you know what, I'm going to get into the game and make a difference. And now we're going to hear from this young man who is going to get in the game and make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, Derrick Freeman.
So, hey, people, one thing I want to let people know that it's time out for us being on the sideline. And I know that by saying that there's no one that looks like me. There's no one that sounds like me. There's no one that acts like me. And when it comes to government, our government needs to be diverse. And we're not talking about race. We're talking about age as well, youthism and oldness. We need both of that to blend together. That way we can get the voice of the community. I run a campaign saying I'm the voice for the people because I know that our people need a voice. Somebody has to stand up for the people. I'm willing to stand up for the people. My platform is just simple. Just believing in Battle Creek. How are we going to believe in Battle Creek again? We need to have affordable housing. I live in a townhouse. I don't stay in a big house. So I know what the people of Battle Creek is facing right now when it comes down to affordable housing. We need reliable transportation. I was out all day yesterday on this transportation. Me personally, I have 3 vehicles that I can drive every single day. How can I go on a board and talk about that we need more transportation if I never experienced it? So all day yesterday, guess who was experiencing? Me. That's the type of person I am. That's the type of leader I am. I'm not the type of person that's just going to sit back and just give orders. I'm the type of person that give the orders that I will also do. For instance, like yesterday, that transportation. And I've seen some good and I've seen some bad things in our transportation. But great transportation gets people to work. People to work brings more money to the city of Battle Creek. We need this money. We need people to own houses in the city of Battle Creek. We need people to work within the city of Battle Creek. We need businesses that we can give our money to. There's not enough businesses in the city of Battle Creek. You know, wonder why our youth is leaving Battle Creek? Because where they got to go to different places, whether it's out to eat, it could be as simple as out to eat to a steak and shake or something like that. They have to go all the way to Kalamazoo. When they get to Kalamazoo, they see stuff they don't see in their own city, and it causes them to move to these other cities that they are experiencing great ideas from. We have young people in the city of Battle Creek right now that have great ideas. I want to open up the floor to our young people. I want to do more things for our young people. I want to make sure that we have activities that keep our young people involved within city government and just keep our young people involved with the city. Affordable housing and transportation is one thing, but if we forget about our youth, they're going to forget about us and they're going to move on. If we take our youth right now where they at, right now, meet them where they at, guess what? They're going to love us forever. That's why I'm a small business owner in my business and my business partners. We work with the youth. We work with them with their music. We work with them with their videos. We have these conversations with them because then they can start opening up small businesses just as well as we did. I'm the type of person that opened the door for the youth. And I'm going to continue doing that November 3rd. The doors need to be open for them, and they need to know that the door is there.
Thank you, Derrick. And before you leave, we want you to share with us, obviously, your business, where it is and hours and what you do and all that. We said earlier that we are going to field questions. I know I have a question. My spiritual daughter is here, Reverend Owen. She may have a question, but we have received one, and Nicole will tell us what that question is, and I don't know if it's directed to a certain individual. Maybe all of you can answer it depending on what the question is.
I think this is one everybody can answer. So the question is, what are your top 5 priorities for the black community in Battle Creek? And I don't know who wants to start, but I think that can go down.
The ladies can start, or I can start.
I can start.
The youngest start.
Now, do you need it, Jenasia, do you need her to repeat the question again? Or
No,
you
I'm
good?
okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So my top 5 priorities for the black community, if I was elected, and even if I'm not elected, I still get out of my community and I do work.
Right.
I would like to keep on working on mending those relationships with police, first of all. I would like to make a place where we can have our young boys come together. I work for Battle Creek Public Schools, and the young black boys are targets. That's all I can say. They are targets because in our schools, we don't have a lot of people who look like me, a lot of people who understand what our young boys are going through. So when they get to acting out, as they call it, they sending them home. They don't care. So I would like to change that. I would like to come up with a program so that we can help our young boys be better in school, maybe an after-school program. I would like to, number 3, sorry.
No, you're fine, sweetie, you're fine.
So
Just
for number,
family.
okay. So for number 3, for my black people, I would like to keep us informed. Like I said before, we don't get the information that we need, and we need that information to be successful as black people. 4, I would like to continue supporting small black businesses. I do that. My mom is a small black business owner, so of course I support that. And lastly, I would just like to help us come together, not just the youth, but maybe a mentorship program. I've been working on a mentorship program, not for my campaign, for myself personally, where I and a couple of other college students go out in the community and mentor students, high school students who are looking to go to college. I went to college. I'm still currently in college, and I think that me sharing my experiences and my struggles will help the next person. I was the first person in my family that went to college, so I didn't have anybody that I could ask questions or look back to. So I know there's a lot of other people who are going to be the first person in their family who goes to college. So I want to be mentors for those kids so that they don't be so lost when we're at college.
Thank you, Jenasia, for sharing. Awesome. And before today, just as we do with Derrick, you need to tell us what your mom's business is, because we can't support what we don't know exists or where it is. So we need to do that as well. Okay? Derrick or Lynn, either one. Both of you, obviously. Okay, we'll go with Lynn.
Ladies.
Yes, so you're going to see some similar themes here, but certainly, as I mentioned before, really trying to help minority-owned businesses, black-owned businesses get connected to the resources that they need to thrive, to get their idea off the table and into action is something that I've been doing for quite some time. My sorority puts out the minority-owned business listing. We've been doing that since 2016, and we plan to continue that and hope to partner with the city to be able to expand that, go digital, and make it even broader resource for the citizens and for our black community. To really talking about a community center that the city is involved with. I remember coming up with the youth building, coming up when there was a youth building, and we were able to go down there, swim, interact with other folks, recreate. That's where I fell in love with Scrabble. If you want to play Scrabble, call me up. So I mean, just all these different board games and foosball, all kinds of stuff. But it was a safe place to go, right in the neighborhood, that we could interact with each other and interact with caring adults that took the time out to mentor us and give us a safe place to be. I will keep up with keeping you informed. I've been doing that since 2012, over 100 episodes of keeping you informed, trying to connect the black community to resources and really the entire community. So if you want to be part of that, certainly go to my website, lynnwardgray.com, and send me a message, and I'll add you to that email blast. I do the town halls every year. We've done one right here in Macedonia before on different subjects about accessing your government, from code compliance to, we've done, elections. The topics go on and on. We have every department that we've hit at least once to try and make sure that you know how to access your government. The other ones that we want to do, housing. So one of the things that I really think Derrick really hit on this, affordable housing. We have a whole bunch of empty lots in Ward 2, and why not turn those empty lots into brand new homes, like duplexes, I'm thinking, where a young family that we're trying to attract and keep here can buy one side and rent out the other side. They can be landlords, and they can make an income at the same time, taking care of their family and taking care of their own mortgage. And why not? I mean, also have young people learn a trade. We know we need our plumbers and carpenters, and we know we need them.
Right.
So why not have them learn as they go to restore some of these houses that are, out of code compliance? Have them learn and partner maybe with KCC and some other unions locally to get them some apprenticeships and training so that they can fix those houses, get them back on the tax rolls, and learn a trade at the same time. So I consider myself a visionary. So when you run for an office, you have to lead. You have to put a vision out there and hopefully bring people with you. So when I'm talking about all of this, I'm talking about it from the standpoint of making sure that we have some ideas to aspire to bring people with us so that all of Battle Creek can come with us. And so that's one, and I think I might have left one out. And then candidates. This is another big one. And just like we've been talking about, young people are energetic, they're getting involved. I am so happy to see Derrick and Jenasia in this race, but there's been so many more. And I want to be able to create some kind of training for candidates and bring more of them on board. Running for office might seem scary to you at first, but it's doable. You have the skills. You have the ability. You don't have to have any fancy title behind your name. All you have to do is have a heart for community. And that's what I'm born and raised here. I'm invested. This is my foundation. I've been showing up, standing up, speaking up for Ward 2 and this city for a long time. And me being able to be a leader and pass on, and I think as Pastor Hesed always says, the sign of a good leader is succession. And to be able to pass that on, that's why I'm so excited that Jenasia is in this, because I'm bringing people with me. I'm not going to be doing this forever. And, I hope to be doing this as your mayor. But the fact that I've inspired other young people to run too, I've already won. literally. And so those are my 5 things
Great.
to expose other African Americans to running for office and serving their community in this as a public elected official.
Great, thank you, Lynn. Derrick, do you need the question repeated, or are you good?
I think I'm good. My top 5 will be, of course, more mentorship with our youth, our African American young men. When I first came here to Battle Creek, I realized that there was a problem. I worked inside the schools as well as a parent advocate, and I've been a bus driver for 6 years here in the city of Battle Creek. And one of the major issues is that they don't have role models as men. People that look like them. Their teachers don't look like them. No one looks like them, so they don't know who to look up to. So more mentorship programs for our young man. I started a program called Thriving, Inspiring, and Encouraging. That's because our young men need to be inspired. They need to be thriving, and they need to be encouraging. I work with my original pastor, Tatum, and he had a program called 100 Men, and what we was looking to do is something like having 100 men and then having 30 young men start off in this program. Each of them young men have 2 mentors from the 100 black men, and then they also have a mentor. Say, for instance, if the young man wanted to be a football player, we get a football player, whether they was in high school, college, or really in the NFL before, or they want to be a doctor. We connect them with them people. That way they have 3 different mentors and they can stay on the right track. I want to also bridge the gap between people that own homes and people do not own homes, to let them know that it is accessible to them within the city of Battle Creek. I want to bridge that gap between the police and the community. The problem is that we fear each other.
Right.
We need to take the fear out of both of them situations and come together and let's talk. I want to also bridge the gap between education and communities. We have a lot of parents that is scared to talk to our teachers, is scared to talk to our principals because of the experiences that they had in school.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to bridge that gap between these 2 people, the community and also our education system. Our education system will be great if they both was the same. We have 2 different school districts within the city of Battle Creek. One school got some things going good and the other school got some things going good. Some way meet down the middle and figure out how we can help each other instead of being apart from each other. I want to make sure that our young men know that they can own a small business. They can come up with ideas and no one is going to put their ideas down. I want to just bridge the gap between us as people. All of us to come together, whether white, black, orange, green, red, whatever color you are, we need to stop this and come together and make Battle Creek become a better city. Make me believe in Battle Creek is by believing in me and believing in our community.
Thank you, Derrick. And let me thank the person that posted the question online. We do have another question. I'm going to see if Reverend Owens first, that is in the room with us, has a question. And then I'll go back to the online question, and then I have a question myself. Do you have anything, Reverend Owens, or are you good?
Come up.
So I did have a question. My question, which was actually answered by Lynn, was what is the plan for housing development in Ward 2? And so to extend that question about Ward 2, because I mean, I traveled Manchester to get here. I probably counted lots that can hold at least 13 houses. Right? So in my count up Manchester, you can at least get 13 single family homes. I love the idea of duplexes. But so how do you move that beyond an idea into formation to get dirt moved, to get the landscape changed, and to get the progression going?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question, Reverend Orange.
That's right up our
I love it. So right now, the public can weigh in on this. Right now, before the Planning Commission, we are revising our zoning ordinance and maps. And so during this process is when you can get involved and express your interest in how we can use available land and available space and how things are zoned. Now that might seem big to you, might seem enormous, but our staff are excellent at really taking your ideas and helping you understand how you can make a difference. Some of the things that I have put forward before that I'm trying to push for and I need your help is that if we can get what's called accessory dwelling units, that is another option, not only for those duplexes on those empty lots, but to get accessory dwelling units, ADUs is what they're called. You'll be able to take that space. We have a lot of space. We're the 3rd largest landmass city in the state of Michigan. So some of our homes have several square feet in their backyard that they can put up an accessory dwelling unit, an ADU. They can have that and be their mother-in-law spot, their she shed, their man cave, their whatever, where their adult children live, whatever it might be. And they can then either rent that out, make an income off of that. Again, being a landlord and being an entrepreneur in that way, and turn that space into something that's working for them. And I think those are some of the things that we can do. We can work with our several of those lots are owned by the Calhoun County Land Bank Authority Board. And so we can partner with them. They're selling their side lots all the time. Maybe you don't know about that. I can connect you to those resources when they have those auctions where you can buy that land. People are buying land in Ward 2. Don't be fooled. They're buying land because they know that there's an opportunity here. They know that there's room and it's ripe for growth. And you can be a part of that. So that getting connected to planning and zoning is a way for our residents to really tap into that and create an income for themselves and for their families.
Thank you, Lynn. Reverend Owens, do you have a follow-up, or do you?
I do have just one more follow-up.
That's
How
all
do you
right.
protect that ripeness? How do you protect that availability? How do you protect that from gentrification?
Wow, yeah, that's a good question. So one of the things that I think we can do is come together. You know, there's like associations of people that get together that have like business interests. I know that the Youth Village has a housing component. I know that Neighborhoods Incorporated still is in the business of trying to get people into affordable homes. And we need to bring everybody to the table. There's landlord associations. We need to bring everybody into the table to make sure that we are all on the same page and that we are all moving forward together to try and keep everything within families, within neighborhoods, so that people know what their options are and can get that support from each other as we're working through trying to build up our area.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Reverend Owens. We have another question. Nicole, is this for all, or is this specifically for one?
It was her question.
Oh, it was her question. I'm sorry. I have a question, and my question is, I love this word, and Jenasia mentioned community, and of course Lynn and Derrick all mentioned that word. I like to break that word community down. Come you in it. Community. You can't spell it without that. Come you in it. So my question is, how can we, the city, how can we help you help us? And the reason I asked that question, because real talk, a lot of us think for some reason that once we get an African American in the position that they're supposed to walk on water and be at our beck and call. When President Barack Obama became president, he was not just the black president for black people. He was the president for all people. And sometimes we want to stand on the sidelines and don't do anything except blame those blacks who now, the African Americans, who now get in a position, and the minute they vote against something or something, see, they with them too. That's not true, but that's how some of us think. So I want to know, how can we, African Americans, as well as the entire community, how can we help you help us? And we're going to start this with Derrick. You're going to be, and I see things as I see things, so you're on the commission. How can we, as a black community, help you help us as we help the entire city? We'll go with Derrick, we'll go with Jenasia, and we'll come back around to Lynn.
So the people can help me by being transparent as I be transparent with you, right? Your voice matters. When you see something going wrong, let me know that you see something going wrong. Don't just hold it in and then tell me about it later after a vote. You see something going wrong in the city of Battle Creek, let us know. We don't know everything. I haven't experienced everything in life. What you experience is not what I experienced. So sometimes our votes go with some of the experiences that we have or the people around us have. I want to hear from you. I want to keep a communication line open to you, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's one-on-one. I'm not afraid of you. And I don't want you to be afraid of me or anybody that's on the city commissioner board, because we are for you. we get voted by you, and we can get put out by you. So
Right.
I wanted to let you know that your voice matters. Your voice matters to me. I'm just the beck and call when you tell me that I can say what you want out of this city, out of your community. And we start off with little communities. Let's not talk about the big communities. What's going good in your community right now? What's going bad? Let's have these conversations before November 3rd and keep these conversations going after November 3rd.
Excellent, excellent. Jenasia, how can we help you help us? And by us, I don't mean just black people. I'm talking about the city, the community. But obviously, African Americans are in the community. So how can we help you help us?
So for one, you can help me by getting out there to vote. Ward 2 traditionally has the lowest voter turnout in our city, and we need to change that. There's no reason that it should continuously and repeatedly for every election Ward 2 come out not voting.
Right.
So get out there and vote, and when I do get elected, I need you guys to help me by letting me know what you need and not being afraid to mess up. I'm not afraid to mess up. I know that I have never done this before, and like I said, I'm not a politician. So I'm not afraid to ruffle feathers
Great.
needing to get things done. Let me know what you need, and I will advocate for you. That is my job. I will advocate for my people.
Thank you. And Lynn, once you become mayor, again, I speak those things that are not as though they are, how can we help you as mayor help us?
Great question. Thank you for it. I sit there as the mayor of the city of Battle Creek, because we're speaking into it.
That's right. That's right.
For you, I represent you and I represent your voice. So in doing so, I need to hear from you. And there is several ways that you can do that. And as I was talking about meeting me where you are, let me know, how can we change the way we do city government so that it is more inclusive to all our citizens? So because we all receive information in different ways, I need to know what those ways are for you so we're covered. We definitely have access for hearing impaired or those who have challenges with various languages in our community. But are we doing a great job? I remember hearing, as I've been on the campaign trail, hearing from a member who said, you know, when you guys do those street closures or there's a water alert that you have to do a shutdown for the water on a certain street, it doesn't come in another language. It just comes in one. But I don't understand it because I don't speak I speak Burmese, and so I need to have it in that language. And so that just made me think, yeah, like we need to be putting it out in other languages. And so now we do have it coming out in Spanish and English right now. And so that's just one way of saying, hey, we need to think about that. We had this discussion the other day on another forum. We were talking about childcare, transportation. When we have our city commission, maybe people can't get to us. Mm-hmm. Maybe people have challenges with the time that some of our boards, committees, and commissions meet, which is often at 3, 4 during work hours. Maybe you have a job that you can't break away and participate in your city government. So help me understand all the barriers that you're encountering to engage with your city government so that we can fix it together.
Thank you, Lynn. I thank God for my 3 angels. Charlie had 3 angels. I have 3 of them. They helped me tremendously in our media meetings. That is in the person of Delbert Wanzer, Nicole Perry, and Sheena Standback. They may have a question for you all. So at this time, if they have a question, they can direct it at you as well.
I'm going to read a comment on
Okay.
Facebook.
Okay.
So this came from Kiana Brown Ackley, and she said, I love that idea, Lynn, and this was in reference to the housing for Ward 2. And would love to be a partner of those efforts as I run for Ward 5, BC City Commissioner. I remember when there were businesses downtown and the owners lived above those businesses, which made it more affordable to live and own a business in our city. I would love to see more setups like that throughout the community for more affordable options. And that leads to a question that I have related to the affordability of downtown. Is there something in the works related to making downtown an easier point of entry for small businesses, businesses or housing even, that we should know about?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think it's been about 3 years now that we've had the cargo spaces downtown, just right across from the post office. And that's a great incubator space for individuals to kind of test out their business, see if they need to tweak it a little bit, if there's a market for it, really get some legs under it. We've had some businesses move from that to their own brick and mortar, and so and that's supported all along the way from our economic development team. And so that's one way. We have another space that's going to be coming on board, the Tiger Room, where we're going to be doing incubator spaces there for food businesses. And so that's another way for individuals to engage. And then our downtown, it can be cost prohibitive, but then we also try to work with you for MEDC dollars from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation and other individuals. We have partnerships with Sisters in Business that also try to provide pitch opportunities for you to win funding to support your businesses. And so those are some of the ways that we can do it, but we're open for other options. If you have other options that maybe we don't know about, we're wanting to hear from you. The good thing is that our team is really focused on small businesses, women and minority-owned businesses in the city of Battle Creek. We have a bunch of groups, nonprofits that are trying to help build those businesses and bring them up and provide funding and capital, which is all so hard for minority-owned businesses to get their hands on, especially in the age of COVID. So all those things are happening now, but again, if you don't have the information and you don't know where to get the information, you're feeling left out. I'm here to help you connect to those things, and I'd be happy to do that.
Thank you, Lynn. Delbert or Sheena, do you all have a question for them?
I have one. So everyone's talked about youth development and doing things with the youth, and I'm born and raised here, and there was always so much to do, but now I've found, now that I have a child, you have to scour the earth to find anything. We have some Parks and Recs programs, we have New Level, but is there a way that we can bridge the gap and get those all together? Can we form, police athletic leagues? Is there something that we can do besides taking your kids to a relative's house just to keep them more engaged? Because I loved growing up here. It was a really great place to be part of a family and to raise a family, but I don't really feel that way anymore. So we do have some resources, but it's so scattered. So is there a way to get it all centralized or to work in the group, different individuals and organizations together so it's not so difficult to find things to keep your child engaged?
Well, I'll start, then turn it over to my other colleagues, my other candidates here with us. But one of the things I wanted to point out is the Police Athletic League is happening through the Youth Village and through the 846 movement, a group of gentlemen that have come together to try and uplift business, housing, and youth opportunities. And so that is already part of that initiative, the bringing that Police Athletic League. And that's really important because, again, it's building relationships. You got to build relationships. Yeah. If I don't know you, if something goes down, it's harder to have a conversation with you. But if I've been having a conversation with you, we've been interacting all along, it's easier when things get tough to be able to engage in those tough conversations. And so I agree with you. A central place is great. We've always wanted a central calendar. We still haven't got that. So that is something that I'd really like to work on, and also make even though we've done a lot of great work, shout out to Jessica Vanderkolk, who's our communications manager. It's still hard to navigate our website to get the information, get the calendar, know when a subcommittee meeting is happening, know when a commission meeting is happening. So it's much easier to navigate it now than it has been before, but we can always improve. So.
Anything on that, Mr. Freeman?
I think that what we all been talking about is being more transparent. Talking about this, bringing it up like this, that's a great idea. But actually doing something after we talk about this. These different groups within the city of Battle Creek somehow need to organize a different group where they all meet at one table and figure out what we doing right again and what we are doing wrong. Because sometimes you got one person doing this and one person doing this, now the city is split. Bring the city back together. It's more than just the calendar. It's actually bringing the people back together as far as New Level Sports or maybe the other sports agencies that we have within the city of Battle Creek. We need to sit down at the table and figure out what's going right and what's going wrong and make it affordable and accessible to everybody in the city of Battle Creek, because not everybody can afford them things. How can we make it affordable for everybody? How can we come together and get our youth together? How can we get them on the same page? See, when they see us split up, they become split up. So we need to come together and show them that us as a city can come together.
Great, Derrick. Jenasia, what saith you on this?
I think that the main barrier for us is communication because, like they mentioned, we do have quite a few things going on in our community for the youth, but we don't know about it. Unless you're directly connected to those organizations, you don't really know what they're hosting, what events they have going on, or anything like that. So I think that we need to, like I said, communicate with one another, host community events so that we can get that information out there to each other. And how I need you to help me in that is come to those community events.
All right.
We can plan them all we want, but
Right.
if people don't come to them, the information is just,
That's true. Thank you, Jenasia. We have about 10 more minutes left, and we want to now hear from the candidates something, again, that we might not need to know, anything in which they need to alert us to. Once again, before we leave, we will have Derrick give us his business, as well as Jenasia and her mom's. Earlier, before our meeting, Lynn and I were talking, there's all kind of tactics, there's bullying, there's fear tactics, all these things. So we need to know some things about that day because we know from, unfortunately, the one that's in office now, he's all about intimidation, and we don't want to be or need to be intimidated out of our vote. So we're going to hear from Lynn Gray first, and again, she will talk about some things with the wards and some things that may be going on. And then we'll hear obviously from Jenasia and Derrick as well. Let us know about, because I do know on this election, you can actually register on the day and vote. And there's all kind of false information out there.
Absolutely.
So I want to get the right information. We'll start with Lynn, and then obviously we'll have Derrick and Jenasia. So once again, I'll yield the floor to Lynn Gray. These are fine people of faith, each and every one of these individuals. I know them. Their talk, their walk matches, so they don't say one thing over here or one thing over here. There's always people that don't like us for whatever reason. So you will hear all kind of things. It's unfortunate that when blacks try to help blacks, that blacks say that they're not black enough, whatever that means. So there's all kind of stuff out there. We really don't need to be fighting within. We don't need to be fighting, period. But we really don't need to be fighting each other. And sometimes we fight each other because we don't know things, and because we don't know things, sometimes we start attacking, and that's unfortunate. But these are outstanding people. None of us in here, or none of us listening, can walk on water. And when you can, call me and we'll record it, and then I'll listen to everything you say. So I want Lynn to, again, share some things that we talked about, because it's going to be some things happening on that day. And unfortunately, that starts and stems from the president in office now. So I'll turn the floor over to Lynn, and then obviously we'll hear from Derrick and Jenasia as well.
Yeah, so you've been hearing it quite a bit. Have a plan. Have a plan for voting. The absentee ballots are out right now. I got mine. I haven't voted it yet. Got it. But, some things to remember. Make sure that you sign the back of your ballot. Put it in the secrecy sleeve. Put it inside the envelope, and then sign it before, a lot of folks are saying they just want to make sure that they see the person they're handing it to, or they take it right down to the drop box. There's a drop box on the outside of City Hall, and there's a drop box just outside the door of the city clerk's office. You can do either one of those right now. Voting started on September 24th, and so make sure you do that. Now, if you're now you said it before, it's November 3rd is the election day, but we're in an election season.
Yes.
So that's because people are voting right now.
Right.
And so leading up to election day, make sure that you have a plan to get your vote cast. If you need a ride to the polls, A. Philip Randolph has been doing that for many years. They're doing it again this year. Their number, in case you need to check with them, is 269-317-7139. That's 269-317-7139. They're looking for poll challengers right now. So if you want to do that, you need to contact them today and make sure that you put your name in the hat to be a poll challenger. In addition, on election day, I've had a conversation with the chief of police, Chief Blocker, because I've had constituents come to me saying that they're scared. They're wondering what will happen at their poll on election day.
That's right.
Now, every election since I've been running for Ward 2, there's always been elements that come from outside into Ward 2. As I'm standing there greeting voters, thanking them for voting, they come down. And then we've always had election protection attorneys coming down from NAACP to make sure that everything is going smoothly.
Right.
I want you to know that our police chief has a plan and that you will be protected. Your vote is protected. Do not be afraid. All you have to do is talk with the election supervisor that's on site. If you don't get resolved there, call the city clerk's office. Their number is 269-966-3348. That's 269-966-3348, and report it. If it escalates, then you also have the option of calling 911 if you need to. And also, there's the election protection line for the NAACP. That's 1-866-OUR-VOTE. 1-866-OUR-VOTE. All those are options to you if you experience any hesitations when you are going to cast your vote at a precinct in the city of Battle Creek. If you have any other questions, LynnWardGray.com. I'd be happy to answer them. But yes, exercise your right to vote. I hope you vote Lynn Ward Gray. I hope you support all of the candidates that are out there running. We need to make sure that we're doing that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lynn. As we come to a close, Jenasia is now going to tell us what we need to know, as well as give us her mom's business. And then Derrick is going to tell us what we need to know, and then tell us about his business as well.
As I mentioned before, Ward 2 traditionally has the lowest voter turnout. So in order to combat that, on October 16th, I will be hosting a drive-by voter registration event at 112 Helen M. Montgomery Avenue from 3 to 5.
Give that address again, if you don't mind.
112 Helen M. Montgomery Avenue.
Thank you.
3 to 5. I will be sharing that information with you after this, and it will be on my Facebook as well. Come by, get registered to vote. I will have online voter registration stations for you, as well as just come out and get to know me. Ask me any questions that you would like to ask me. Get to know me as a candidate. And that's it, pretty much. Jenasia99@gmail.com. If you don't want to come out to the event, but you would still like to ask me questions, that's where you can do that at.
Your mom's business?
My mom's business is Impressively Designs by Monica Lee. She decorates events. She can make you anything that you need for your event.
Literally, she can.
You don't have to book her to decorate your event. You can just book her to make your items for your event.
Okay.
And you can reach her on Facebook at Monica Lee.
Thank you. Mr. Freeman, tell us what we need to know, and obviously your business.
One thing that we need to know when Lynn Ward Gray was talking about the absentee ballot, about the signature. This is very important that your signature at least match closely to what's on your license. I know some of us young people, we get so fancy with it. One year we doing that D with the X on it, and another year we just doing it with the line. Make sure your signatures match with your ID. Another thing, young people, your vote do matter.
Yes.
Cast your vote.
Yes.
Register your vote. If you're not registered by, what's the date, the 15th?
16th.
The 16th. Get over there to Helen Montgomery and register their vote.
Right.
I might be available to come over there. I got QRC codes on my phone where you don't even have to touch me. You take a picture and it comes right up for you to register to vote. Get out there and register to vote, and then vote. because people died for us to vote.
Right.
I have not, I'm going to tell you the truth. You see this face? I have not voted in every election. I have not. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I have. But I know how important it is to go out and vote because of the people that died for us.
Yes.
Don't let that be in vain this November 3rd. I want to also let you know that I own a business here in the city of Battle Creek, Moments Forever Photography. We brought this business to the people because we want to make sure that we are affordable when it comes to pictures and videos. We also do podcasts. I partner with 2 young men in the city of Battle Creek that does the music side of it. We want to see more young people involved in good ways, not bad ways. So that's why we brought this to the community, and hopefully it get bigger and bigger and better. See you November 3rd. I'm the voice for the people, and your voice matters.
Thank you, Derrick. And once again, let me thank each of these fine individuals who I know that will be excellent candidates for what they are running for. I cannot tell you who to vote for, but I can share with you a story. A man and his wife had just recently got married. The man happened to have a parrot, and the parrot did not like the new wife. So not even a week afterwards, the wife would come downstairs, the new wife, and the bird would look at her, and the bird would say, "You ugly." And it hurt her feelings, and she would go back and she would tell the husband, said, "You know, that bird that you got, he called me ugly, and I don't like that." So the husband went down and talked to the bird, said, "Look now, you're hurting my new wife's feelings. You don't need to say that anymore." So the next morning, the lady comes down the steps. Bird looks at her and says, "You ugly." Once again, she gets her feelings hurt. She goes to the husband, said, "Look, now this bird called me ugly again, and it's really disturbing me." The man said, "I'll take care of it." He goes back, talks to the bird, said, "Look, don't you do that anymore. You're hurting my wife's feelings." Wife was all excited. Next morning, she come downstairs. The bird looks at her and says, "You ugly." She goes back. She talks to the husband. The husband says, "I'm tired of this." He tells the bird, "I love you, but I love my wife more. If you say that one more time, I'm going to freeze you, and then I'm going to cook you." So the next day, the lady comes downstairs, looks at the bird. The bird looks at her and smiles. The bird said, "You know. I can't tell you who to vote for, but you know." God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you. Praise God. See you November 3rd at the polls. Thank you again. God bless you.
That's it.
Okay.
Preachers always have great stories.
That was
Thank you all
awesome.
for coming in, and again, that's out, and we'll have that everywhere. Yeah, Jenasia, give me that,
Yes.
because anything you all need, Lynn or Derrick, we've got.